Hello, welcome to Alexicare's Emergency Disaster Preparedness Training. After completing this training, you will be able to identify and prepare for all possible disasters that have the potential to strike in your area. You will know how to keep you and your clients safe during a tornado, a hurricane, and a winter storm. And you will be able to demonstrate readiness by assembling a disaster preparedness kit. Remember, an emergency is not the time to plan, it is the time to react, so be informed. Are you ready and willing? As a trained professional, you must always be ready and willing to take action in the event of a disaster. This means that you know how to stay calm and work well under pressure, and you understand the basic physical and emotional needs of people when they are most vulnerable. Regardless of the disasters, they have several key elements in common. They are usually unexpected, with little or no warning or time to prepare. When a disaster strikes, emergency services like EMTs, fire, and police may be overwhelmed by the demands for their services, leaving you in charge of the safety of those around you. Lives, health, and the environment are all in danger. That's why it's critical you know exactly what to do if disaster strikes. You must be ready and willing to snap into action without delay. You should know what is possible. Different hazards threaten different places. Knowing exactly what you need to be prepared for will help you narrow down your priorities. Before beginning this training, you should identify the most common disasters that occur in your community. For example, if you live in an area that is often threatened by hurricanes, but does not experience earthquakes, then focus your energy on being prepared for hurricanes. Ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen? It is important to have a clear understanding of the most severe impact a potential disaster may have. For example, a tornado may leave very little damage on one street and flatten every house on the next street over. It is important to be prepared for the worst. Let history influence the future. Learn valuable lessons from disasters such as Hurricane Katrina and 9/11. Remember the devastation and the tragedy of lives lost. Think about what went right and what went wrong. Let the lessons learned guide your actions. This may even decrease the number of injured or dead in the next disaster. Let's talk about preparing for fires in the home. Clients being cared for at home are at higher risk of experiencing a fire because there is little or no inspection or regulation of gases, flammable liquids, or electrical devices. Making matters worse, clients are permitted to smoke in their own homes without supervision. Did you know smoking is the leading cause of all residential fire deaths? You may be able to help clients and their families prepare an evacuation plan in case of a fire. Draw a rough plan of the home, noting doors and windows that can be used for escape. Make sure doors and windows open easily. Designate a meeting place outside the home after evacuating. And routinely check smoke alarms and replace the batteries as needed. Of all of the disasters discussed in this training, fire is the only one that you can help prevent. Always be on the lookout for potential fire hazards, such as smoking, overheated electrical appliances, and overloaded power strips, and eliminate the risk before it becomes an emergency. Let's focus on tornadoes. Tornadoes are small but powerful cones of wind that spin violently and can travel in excess of 300 miles per hour. A tornado can strike any time of the day and any time of the year, causing damage that can uproot trees, destroy buildings, tear off roofs, send debris and glass flying, and overturn cars and mobile homes. But thanks to high-tech radar systems, weather forecasters can now predict when and where tornadoes are likely to form and can warn the public before they hit. You can plan for a tornado by knowing the risk of tornadoes in your area. Although some areas of the United States are at higher risk than others, tornadoes can happen anywhere. Identify a safe place to go when a tornado is approaching. The best shelter from a tornado is underground, like a basement or cellar. If an underground shelter is not available, plan to go to an interior room like a bathroom that has no windows or a hallway on the lowest floor, and get under a sturdy piece of furniture such as a table. If you are in a mobile home, get out. No mobile home is safe in a tornado. If your client lives in a mobile home, locate a sturdy structure nearby that you and your client can get into if a tornado warning is issued. During a tornado, you should close all windows and doors. Damage occurs when wind gets inside a building. You should seek shelter. Move yourself and your client to an underground shelter or an interior room or hallway on the lowest floor. Tuck and huddle. Shield yourself and your client using as much material as possible, such as furniture or blankets. And wait. Stay put until you are sure the tornado threat has passed. After the tornado has passed, avoid fallen power lines and immediately report those you see to the local utility company. Stay out of damaged areas until you are told that it is safe to enter. And turn off utilities, oxygen, or other gas lines to prevent fires. What is a hurricane? A hurricane is a violent storm that develops in the tropical Atlantic Ocean from June to November. To be classified as a hurricane, the storm must have winds of at least 75 miles per hour and be accompanied by heavy rains. Hurricanes can damage or destroy structures, lift and move unstable structures and objects, damage utility and sewerage lines, cause floods, especially along coastal communities, make roads impassable, and damage cell phone towers. Let's focus on winter weather. Winter storms often involve extremely cold temperatures with snow, freezing rain, wind, or even blizzard conditions that can last several days. Winter storms can be deadly, even though most deaths are not directly related to the storm. Winter weather risks to human life include exhaustion and heart attacks caused by overexertion when shoveling snow or doing other preparations, hypothermia and frostbite. It is possible for older people to freeze to death in their own homes after being exposed to dangerously cold indoor temperatures. Elderly people account for the largest percentage of hypothermia victims. House fires. These occur more frequently in the winter because of the lack of proper safety precautions when using alternative heating sources, like unattended fires and improperly placed space heaters. A house fire during winter storms present a great danger because water supplies may freeze and it may be difficult for firefighting equipment to get to the fire. Asphyxiation. In an effort to get warm, people asphyxiate because of improper use of fuels such as charcoal briquettes or gas stoves, which produce carbon monoxide. If you suspect someone has hypothermia, you should take the person's temperature. Seek immediate medical care if the temperature is below 95 degrees Fahrenheit. If medical care is not available, begin to warm the body slowly. Dress the person in dry clothing and wrap him or her in a warm blanket, making sure to cover the head and the neck. Offer small sips of warm broth or tea. Some warning signs of hypothermia include uncontrollable shivering, memory loss, disorientation, slurred speech, drowsiness, and apparent exhaustion. During a winter storm, you should stay indoors and dress warmly. Dress elderly clients in layers of loose-fitting, lightweight, warm clothing. When necessary, remove layers of clothing to avoid sweating, which can lead to chills. Provide frequent small meals and snacks. Food provides the body with energy, and energy produces heat. Warm liquids such as warm broth or juices can prevent dehydration. Close the doors of unused rooms and stuff towels or rags in cracks under the doors, and cover drafty windows at night. Our last topic is preparing a disaster emergency kit. Whatever the threat, everyone can benefit from a disaster preparedness kit. This is a sure way to be ready for any emergency. Gather the following supplies and store them in a sturdy, easy-to-carry bag. Check the contents of the bag and replace the food, water, and batteries every 6 months. Each kit should contain enough food and water to last for at least 3 days. What should be in your emergency kit? Your kit should contain bottled water, at least 2 quarts a day per person, non-perishable food such as canned goods, granola bars, canned milk and juices, baby food if you have a baby, and pet food if you have a pet. You should have a can opener, a knife, matches, plastic bags, and plastic eating utensils. You should have a first aid kit including non-prescription pain relievers and allergy medications. Be sure to have a small battery-operated radio with extra batteries, a flashlight with extra batteries, toilet paper, tissues, and wipes, a complete change of clothes and shoes, emergency phone numbers, a small amount of cash, and an extra set of house and car keys. Don't forget the additional items you might need in case of a disaster. Place a note on the outside of your emergency kit that lists last-minute things you will need but cannot be stored, such as prescription medications, including insulin and diabetes supplies, heart medication, and blood pressure medication, dentures, contact lenses, and eyeglasses, cell phones, laptops, iPads, GPS, and chargers for each of these items. Finally, remember to pack an entire emergency kit for each person or pet in your household. Store kits in an easy-to-find location, and be prepared to retrieve kits for those who cannot retrieve their own, such as the elderly and children. Here are the 5 key takeaways from this emergency preparedness training. 1. Different hazards threaten different places. Knowing exactly what you need to be prepared for will help you identify your priorities. 2. Hurricanes, tornadoes, and winter weather can all be predicted. Pay attention to the warnings and keep yourself and others safe. 3. Fire is preventable. Eliminate the risk before it becomes an emergency. 4. Regardless of the emergency, everyone can benefit from packing a disaster preparedness kit. And 5. While this training serves as a general guide to planning for a disaster, there may be other emergencies such as bomb or terror threats that have not been covered in this training. This training is now complete. Thank you.